Okay, here we are out in the greenhouse, and if you'd followed along on my last one, everything's out and transplanted, and I started out with some good rooting fertilizer in the boxes. My update's a little later than I would normally do it, but what happened was that over the last 5-6 days, pretty well every morning, we've had snow. And we barely got above freezing most days, so I've had this greenhouse just packed right full of bedding out plants and everything else, and my herbs, just to keep them warm. Had the heater on, so I didn't come out. So here we are, just a quick update again. So let's start with this box. Now this is my control box, shall we say, that doesn't have any lights over it. Everybody's looking good coming up. What I did, in one of the snowy days, I did come out and run a bit of a light test on how much supplemental light I'm getting off of the Mars Hydro or the Bloom Plus or the Growtronics. So let's start with this box here. I changed my fertilizer. Now I've gone to a 28-10-10 high nitrogen fertilizer to get a bunch of growth. I'll probably do that for a month before I swap over to a balanced fertilizer. This box needed 30 liters to fill. So that was interesting. It took a lot more water than the others. But everybody's looking good and healthy. And when I did my light test, I got 217 par. So that will compare across the board. Now, of course, my last one, the Growtronics, it's in the back corner, so it doesn't get anywhere near as much direct sunlight as this one, who's in the front corner. So let's move over to this box. Now, there's your Mars Hydro. Everybody's looking good. I think everybody is just slightly bigger than the control box. So this box, it only took 16 liters to fill. So about half as much water was drank. So that's interesting. That's something I'm going to have to continue to track. But what else is really interesting is the bottom of my leaves. I don't know if you can see that, but they're turning purple. And I'm not sure why exactly, because you come over to my original control, they're still green underneath. Now, what normally is the problem with your leaves turning purple like this is that they're short of potassium. Except it was a 10-52-10 fertilizer, so lots of potassium, and it only drank 16 liters. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but this box has the most purple leaves. The lemon boys are the worst, but even the bumblebees and the Rio Grandes, when you look at the back of them, they're also purple. And the only real difference between the two is it drank less water and the light. Now the light, the Mars Hydro, it's giving 502.5. So over twice as much light on the day I tested. So now I come over here to this box. Now this is the Bloom Plus light. Still at the same height. Now this one, the leaves aren't anywhere near as purple on the back, which is kind of interesting. They're looking healthy, happy. I think they are probably, well, not the tallest of the boxes, but they probably have more growth than the first two boxes I showed you. It only took 12 liters to fill this box. And the added light, I got 532.5 par on this box. So certainly the Bloom Plus appears to be doing more additive light, and it's not drinking as much. So that's interesting. That'll have to be followed along. And again, this box, there's my Growtronics. And certainly, I gotta adjust my chair. Everybody's doing good. They look healthy and happy. And it took about 16 liters to fill, which is very similar to the second box, the Mars box. But the added light is reading 390. Now, I don't think that's a fair comparison because this box is at the back, away from the sun. So that's going to have an effect. But it's down a lot more. But the leaves aren't turning quite as purple. Certainly the Lemon Boy has purple on the back of the leaves, but the Rio Grandes don't, and neither do the Sunrise Bumblebees. So that's something interesting that I'm going to have to continue watching as we go along. Now then, I don't know if the camera will focus on that. I'm not sure what that little guy there is. It's obviously a weed seed that was in these bags of dirt. And I've noticed over the last couple of years we're getting more and more weed seeds coming up in these MaxiCat boxes. I'm going to let that grow for a little bit, but I'm going to put my money on that being a nettle. It sure looks like a nettle. You come over here, there's other little bits coming up, and right there is a rose. It was looking like it was going to die, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll just put it in the greenhouse, in the bag here, and if it survives, great. If it doesn't, well, that's life. I've got others. So there we are. Quick update in the greenhouse. Everybody's doing good. I'm going to have to continue tracking the water that they're using. And I'll keep using these lights until the tomatoes get too tall. Anyways,